The bee is here this week, not just because he's a very nice friend of ours, but because he is showing us, or is it a she? I don't know. This bee is showing us the mastery of pollination, because this week we are entering the stream of synergy. Synergy. Thank you, Mystery Bee, for showing us how to exchange ideas and being in the flow together. So, I had a realization last night about synergy, and it took me to my edge of where I realized that for synergy to exist, I have to move outside of my fears of other people's beauty and genius. And I get the opportunity today to do so, to celebrate the genius and mastery of a friend who's going to be giving a transmission. So, welcoming on Mr. Elijah Parker.
Hello, welcome. So today is Gene Key 45, from dominance, synergy, this communion. It's actually the lake on top of the fertile earth. The vitality that we can find in life when we relax and listen and receive deeply, orienting through the heart. This is a beautiful key about gathering together all of the little tributaries of life, all feeding this one beautiful current. And I keep, here we are at WonDoorLand Synergenius Studios. So for my family, synergy is a required word to learn and to embody and to remind each other about. And when I was really tuning into this key, I was reminded to the level of trust that synergy actually requires and demands of us, and the level of listening. So this key moves from dominance, and dominance, our world has extreme examples of dominance. There's the dominance of corporations and organizations that are making decisions that dominate culture or society or the global economy for self-serving agendas to serve these small 0.1% of the world. And then there's dominance all the way in our daily life of someone who's just really overbearing in a conversation, or someone who's singing too loudly, or explaining too proudly. And then there's the people that are afraid of dominance and afraid of the decisions made by those in power and feel like they don't have power in those situations, or let themselves get walked all over in a conversation or in a relationship. And those victim stories that we tell ourselves about that masculine energy that's actually oppressing the feminine energy, or that feminine energy that has us in such a tight leash. These are the stories that we tell ourselves that actually keep us in a victim feedback loop of dominance itself. And of course, some people really like dominance in their relationships, and they feed that. Whether consciously or unconsciously, we liked being chained, and we like being the ones chaining others. So we bring our awareness and our honesty to these places. But synergy is something else entirely. Synergy is listening and responding with trust to the world, to remembering and believing that all of these streams are actually feeding one current of love, of trusting in our allies to, like this large computer of multi-processors, that each one is doing its own part to the structure. And we have to completely hand over, as a business leader and as a production manager, I have to completely hand over a task to someone else and trust that it will be completed with as much efficiency as that being or person or part of the machine can do. Because we're all actually serving one dream. That hierarchy is not about power being at the top. It's about the vision, the grail that we're holding together, the hope and the dream that we want to see alive. That's what we're putting at the top of the pyramid. That's what's illuminating our life. So our vitality is streaming through this receptive listening and trusting one another. Good singers, good musicians have to learn how to listen as much as they need to use their projection of their voice. of the strength of their instrument. So this week with Synergy, let's really drop into how can we listen and trust each other more. Our families, our work partners and creative partners, our governments, our schools. How can we actually relax into a deeper trust while also staying strong in our unique flavor of that song? Because if we're too timid, if we don't really sing out, then the other people in the room don't know that that's a part of the song, and you can get overwalked, you can get walked on. We're gonna learn how to sing proudly and to stand tall in our genius while equally listening to each other and trusting that this current is gonna take us into a beautiful space, into a beautiful place. The unity through bliss. And that's what communion really is. When we come to sip from this nectar, when we come to embody and imbibe that beauty into our lives, we're all sitting around the table and we all get fed and we all get to drink from the divine. And this is our gift and our opportunity and our invitation. And definitely in these next few days while the sun is here, gather together with the friends and loved ones, and more so than even just your immediate family that you feel comfortable in. Stretch out and trust in this world to hold us together.
So you see, synergy, it brings out the genius in us all when we get to share and celebrate in each other's beauty, each other's wisdom, and we move past those fears of being threatened and realize that there is no threat. You're you perfectly.
And it's great, and we can really
and when people dominate you, you can ask respect. I'm strong enough in my center, and he's strong enough in his. I trust him to really just uphold who we are. Like I was saying, you are you perfectly, and each of us are each of us perfectly. So we can share the camera, and we can share the space. So have a beautiful week of synergy, and lean into those edges.